Hey everyone, and welcome to Mini Scroll, the daily internet culture podcast bringing you the biggest stories from social media, the creator economy, and the digital space every Monday through Thursday. My name is Annabelle, and I am your Wednesday Mini Scroll host, and also the deputy editor of the youth digital media brand Centennial World. Welcome back to Mini Tech Scroll, everyone. I just wanted to remind you guys that we have an event coming up next week for the launch of the Centennial World Podcast Network. We are inviting listeners along, so if you can make it, please register your interest at the link in the description. All the details are there, but it will be in the Sydney CBD after work hours, and we are super excited for the launch and can't wait to see you guys there. Anyway, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe to Infinite Scroll. We are on the journey to 1,000 Spotify star reviews. And other than that, let's just get straight into today's stories. Okay, so two of my stories today aren't super tech related, which I'm sure some of you may enjoy for a change, but they are definitely internet culture related, focusing on what people are talking about online. So my first story for today is all about the supposed meme drought that everyone is talking about. I felt like this one would be a fun one to start off with, so let's just get straight into it. Over the past week, social media users, I've particularly seen this on TikTok, are talking about how we are in the middle of a meme depression, which in other words means that the meme landscape right now is pretty dry. According to Know Your Meme, the origin of the meme drought came from a social media user called @GoofAngel. In the video posted to TikTok on March 10, he noted that March had not seen a single original meme.
When I'm really old and have grandkids, I'm going to tell my grandkids about the TikTok Great Depression of March 2025. It has been, 9 days into March, and we haven't had a single original meme. Like, yeah, you might mention that Subaru meme, but that was made back in 2021, and it just resurfaced. There's nothing new.
According to the article on Know Your Meme, quote, the concept of a meme drought on TikTok was popularized online over the next few days as users started to recycle old memes or share ironic meta jokes using real pictures of the Great Depression. So I have seen a whole bunch of videos that definitely fit into this description, and most of them are talking about how people are struggling to find memes to send to their friends. For example, one TikTok that I saw read, quote, how the Great March meme drought will be described in the history books. And this text was accompanied with historical pictures of people waiting in lines and then also graphs showing the downturn in meme production over the last month. Another TikTok I saw had a similar caption, but it also included a picture of a very dehydrated SpongeBob, which obviously is insinuating how deprived we are of memes at the moment. As you probably have already noticed, most of these TikToks are essentially making a meme of the meme drought, which is ironic because it has become a meme in and of itself. Nevertheless, I have also seen users discuss why they think we are experiencing an alleged meme drought. One TikTok user put it down to social media's, quote, dragging everything to the max, which obviously is like people just taking things too far where we're getting tired of memes quickly. So I have a couple of thoughts on all of this meme depression discourse. First and foremost, I don't necessarily buy the concept of a meme drought in this day and age, simply because the internet is so fragmented, you can't really have a full meme drought. Because I've definitely seen some chronically online memes going around, like the 19th birthday in Poland meme on Stan Twitter, and of course the I Believe in Children RuPaul meme on TikTok. This sounds insane for me to talk about, but if you know, you know. I will say though that these memes are obviously different to brainrot content, and I feel like that is more what the meme depression is referring to. On top of this, I don't really think we should be expecting new memes or brainrot content to come to the mainstream every week or every month or however frequent we expect it to be. I think the reason why we may be feeling that we are experiencing a meme depression is the impact of the fast-paced trend cycle. Now, I feel like we're often accustomed to talking about this in terms of fashion, but it is definitely applicable here. Recently, I feel like we expect something new to have reached the mainstream, or at least our corner of the internet, virtually every week, where this assumption and the fast-paced trend cycle has definitely changed the life cycle and flow of memes in the digital landscape, ranging from their origins, rise, widespread discovery, and subsequent normalization in the digital landscape. Having said that, I definitely feel like it's normal for there to be lulls in the frequency of memes. We feel the same way reporting on internet culture here. There are definitely periods where there is not much going on, but there is always something. It may have just not hit the mainstream yet. Aiden Walker, who I actually cited last week, but he just honestly has great takes on memes, but he added that it is really really difficult these days for a singular meme to go viral. When we think of some of the most popular memes and periods of memes that we have seen in recent years, they've often come in groups. I mean, on Twitter, for instance, you often will see social media users write a post and then add comments like, the way you need to be chronically online to understand this. So often, memes are becoming popular with context to make users feel like they're in on the joke. So with that point as well, I think we definitely need to learn to be a little bit more patient with the meme cycle. Because honestly, it's quality over quantity. I feel like I just said meme so many times while telling you guys about that story, and the next one is also kind of related to the meme drought, and that is that TikTok users are plotting to flood YouTube Shorts with content from TikTok. This is what TikTok users are calling the quote colonization of YouTube Shorts. I will just say I am not obsessed with the phrasing here. I always find it a little bit weird when internet users use this kind of language and put a positive spin on it. Call me sensitive, but do with that what you will. Essentially, TikTok users are planning to flood YouTube Shorts with all different types of content on March 25th. One of the earliest videos to post about the move across was posted 5 days ago with the caption, quote, "We are posting brainrot and replacing dead internet comments. We plan this will take a week or maybe 2 weeks." So with that, let's get into some of the reasons I've seen online as to why users want to move across to YouTube Shorts. The first was alluded to in that caption, and it is that users want to post brainrot and other content, hoping to eliminate all dead internet theory comments. Lauren has definitely spoken about dead internet theory across mini scroll and infinite scroll, but I'll give a little bit of a summary here as well, just to make sure we're all on the same page. So dead internet theory operates under the assumption that AI and other bot-generated content has surpassed human-generated content online. The dead internet theory essentially claims that activity and content on the internet, including social media accounts, are predominantly being created and automated by AI agents. So I think with that, these users are hoping that by posting brainrot content and other content, these allegations will be defeated, ? But I think the next theory is way more telling, and that this is a preemptive move for the potential TikTok ban that is coming soon, maybe, in the United States, where these users are trying to improve the algorithm on YouTube Shorts. I know we have been talking about the TikTok ban for months now, but we honestly still do not have a resolution on what is going to happen next. Because as we know, Trump issued an executive order at the beginning of his presidency saying that TikTok will be allowed to function for another 75 days, and we are coming up close to that deadline on April 5th, I believe. Presumably, if the US has not found a potential buyer or ByteDance is not in the process of divesting, the app will shut down again. Or so it seems. Who honestly knows? With that being said, no one is quite sure of the progress that has been made, as I have been covering consistently on Mini Tech Scroll. But at this current time, there are reports that Oracle is the top choice to help run TikTok. According to the information, quote, "Oracle is the leading contender to help run TikTok in a new deal." This isn't a total surprise because TikTok has been using Oracle to store data of US users, I think since 2022 at this point. So obviously, ByteDance and TikTok are familiar with the company already. That said, it is also likely that ByteDance will still want to have a substantial role in the platform's operations, so it makes sense that they would want to have some familiarity. But who knows if this will be sufficient for the US government. Anyway, that was a little bit of a tangent from the move across to YouTube Shorts, but I feel like it was relevant, so I hope that gave you guys the context you needed. While this whole plan has definitely become a meme in its own right, I am intrigued to see if users will genuinely start posting on Shorts. On top of this, if they do post, I am curious to see if this even makes a difference with the existing algorithm. But who knows, this might just all be a fun little internet bit. Okay, so my last story is an actual tech story, and that is Meta has officially started rolling out community notes on its platforms. If you remember, I think it was on my first episode of the podcast, but I reported on how Meta was changing its moderation policies. For a quick refresher, in January, Meta announced that it would be replacing fact-checkers with community notes, removing restrictions on various topics like immigration and gender, among other changes, all to supposedly protect free expression and limit censorship across the social media platforms. The response to this decision was split along political lines, with right-leaning users supporting the changes and praising Zuckerberg and Meta for embracing free speech. Left-leaning users, by contrast, claimed that this would have a negative effect on the social media landscape, claiming that these changes would help spread misinformation and encourage hate speech. On top of this, many of these users were particularly concerned by the way Meta seemed to fall in line with the Trump administration's attitude to censorship and free speech in the digital world, which many claim includes protecting discriminatory rhetoric. And this, of course, was in a broader discussion of big tech kind of following suit of the Trump administration. With this context, many users throughout these conversations also discussed how there seemed to be more and more right-wing content popping up on the social media landscape. And this is a hypothesis that Media Matters, which is a US-based not-for-profit progressive research and information center, recently proved in a new study. So the researchers conducted an analysis of 320 online shows and podcasts to check whether right-leaning or left-leaning ideology dominated those shows. Quote, "We found that right-leaning online shows dominate the ecosystem, with substantially larger audiences on both politics/news shows and supposedly non-political shows that we determined often platformed ideological content or guests." Having said all that, with an increasingly biased digital landscape, I'm not sure how well this bodes for community notes, which is a way of fact-checking essentially through crowdsourcing. For context, community notes originated on X and, quote, "allows regular users to submit additional context to posts, offering up supporting evidence to set the record straight," according to an article by Bloomberg. From Tuesday, March 18th, which is today in the US, I believe, Meta will start testing a similar system. According to a Meta blog post, quote, "We're going to take time to do this right. Around 200,000 potential contributors in the US have signed up so far across all three apps, which is Threads, Instagram, and Facebook, and the waitlist remains open for those who wish to take part in the program." The blog post also explained that community notes on Meta will have a limit of 500 characters and will need to include a link to support the note. And to get a note published and allegedly safeguard against bias, the community notes won't be published unless contributors with a range of different viewpoints broadly agree on them. Of course, community notes have been met with a lot of pushback since they've been instituted on X, but they are definitely better than nothing. Having said that, though, as Dave Lee and Carolyn Silverman continue for Bloomberg, quote, "A Bloomberg opinion analysis of 1.1 million community notes written in English from the start of 2023 to February 2025 showed that the system has fallen well short of counteracting the incentives, both political and financial, for lying and allowing people to lie on X." Obviously, Meta's social media platforms are very different to the environment on X, but this platform is definitely worth considering because community notes have been around for quite a while. In their analysis, the authors also discovered other problematic factors on X, in that notes on contentious topics are more likely to be removed, and that most community notes don't even see the light of day as users increasingly fail to reach a consensus. That being said, though, the authors also pointed out some of the positives of the community note systems, where they characterized it as faster and sometimes trustworthy and more transparent than professional fact checkers. I will also just add that there was a lot more interesting data in this Bloomberg article, but obviously I am just giving you the highlights, but it will be linked below if you want to give it a read. While most of the discussion online about the efficacy of community notes is restricted to X, I am intrigued whether Meta will try capitalize on its failings or simply copy and paste the format. So far, it does seem that it will be operationally similar to how it works on X, though it definitely remains unclear. I'm also curious whether Meta will be able to drum up the same amount of enthusiasm that X has for community notes. Obviously, they have had a lot of signups, but with community notes being rolled out on platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Threads, they are all very different to X, like I kind of already touched on. And I think this is especially interesting in Instagram's case, given that as a platform which focuses on photo and video, it hasn't really developed a community centered around discourse. And it hasn't really helped that for a while there, Instagram and Threads really stopped recommending political content. I know I'm pulling from the Bloomberg article quite a bit when I am telling you guys this story, but the authors noted in this article that it is really important to have a certain level of enthusiasm built into the culture of the app. And of course, at the end of the day, It does benefit users, but I will say it benefits people like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg more. Speaking to X specifically, Lee and Silverman write, quote, in February, almost a third of submitted community notes were addressing basic terms of service violations, such as posting gambling advertisements or warning of scams. In other words, free labor for the network owned by the world's richest man. Anyway, that is everything from me today. Lauren will speak to you tomorrow, and please remember to register your interest for our event if you would like to come. If you have already, I believe you should be getting an email soon. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed, and yes, I'll see you next week. Thanks. Bye.